Everyone, it's Alexis Cardoza.
What's up, everybody? It's the Wild Rhino Clark Connors from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I am here getting wild, drinking an 805.
Hey, this is Billy Starks.
Rip F and Bison. I ran out of booze.
Join us because we're drinking at Moe's. I am the fire starter, the Carney Killer. I am born to die, Jake Christ.
This is Bobby Olson. We're drinking at Moe's. You better hit like and subscribe.
All right, everybody. Want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinking at Moe's be a brand ambassador. They encourage everybody to break out of that comfort zone, live their best self, which, hey, that's what got me starting the podcast. But they got great clothing, great apparel, t-shirts, hoodies, beanies, hats, all that good stuff. Be sure, link will be in the description, and use the code Drinking at Moe's to get 10% off your order. Let's fucking go.
All right, everybody. Drinking at Moe's. We are on our My Two Cents. And today we're going to be going over some stuff where the topic of the conversation is what went wrong. Where we go over some things that, they might have been promising, but then something happened and it completely shit the bed. But before we get into that, YouTube, as always, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, because the YouTube algorithm is a pain in the ass.
Yep.
We are on a whole shitload of audio platforms, so by all means, leave a review there. Helps other people find us there too. So before I get into a rant about all that, which I can already feel myself doing, let's get into the topics. So, first one, news came out over the last week or so. Lacey Evans is gone from WWE. Not that she got released, but apparently her contract just went and expired. Mm-hmm. Now, here is what... So there is word with, she had her controversial comments on the source of autism. And a lot of people really gave her shit about that. But then, she originally, I was like, okay, this is different. But hey, in pro wrestling, uniqueness is kind of few and far between anymore. So her original presentation was definitely different.
The Southern Belle?
The Southern Belle that would clock you upside the head.
Yep.
So, then she had some kind of questionable storylines, where one involving a feud with Charlotte Flair, where apparently she was pregnant, and the storyline was that Ric Flair was the baby daddy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was a whole basket of shit, for the lack of a better term.
But at the time, she was pregnant, and they had to figure out a way to get her off TV.
Yes. So, yes, she actually indeed was pregnant at the time. And so then she got written off TV for obvious reasons. And then she comes back and she has this kind of military... she is a Marine. So, does have that background. And there was kind of confusion on whether she was a heel, whether she was a face, and then she went heel, and then she got written off again, and now she is gone. So what went wrong here? I think one thing that went wrong, and where it probably could have worked if it went a different way, was the switch in the character, going from the Southern Belle
Mhm.
to the Marine.
Okay.
And
Go ahead.
where I think it could have worked is if they didn't do the character switch and they just brought her back as a Southern Belle, or going a rewind even further back, if when she started in WWE, they just went with the whole Marine thing.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, it could have worked. But the whole character switch right there is where I'm in full, like, yeah, if it weren't for that, then yeah. But that is right where it went wrong.
Okay, so here we go with this one. So, number one, apparently someone down in NXT loved the Southern Belle gimmick so much they hardly put her on TV. I think she may have had maybe 3 matches, maybe. And then she debuted at the Royal Rumble as number 1 or 2.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
But she actually did good. And the whole Southern Belle, sassy Southern Belle, whatever it was, actually came off pretty well. And her actual best year was the year that it culminated with her and Baron Corbin challenging Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch to a winner-take-all mixed challenge.
Ah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
That was her best. That was her best year. Because after that, it went downhill.
Yeah.
Because Becky Lynch shortly after that lost I can't know. She wasn't Becky 2 belts then. I think she already lost the title. But she wound up going after Charlotte. And then someone came up with this wacky idea. Oh, let's put her with Rick. And then the whole thing, I mean, the minute Ric Flair came back into the picture with Lacey Evans, I just automatically go, no, this isn't going to end well with anybody.
Yeah.
I get it. She's playing the heel. And number one, Charlotte should be like her dad. Probably not playing face a lot. It doesn't work out the greatest because it kind of goes against the grain.
Yeah, she does a lot better doing the heelish side.
She's a more believable heel than she is a face. But we're not talking about Charlotte.
Yeah, we're not talking about Charlotte. We're talking about Lacey.
She winds up getting pregnant, and we had to write her off TV. And then when she started coming back, then you start having these vignettes about, okay, well, we're going to embrace your background, your military background, which automatically, depending on how things go, it automatically screams babyface.
Yeah.
Unless you screw it up.
Yeah.
Now, when she actually re-debuted in this more military gimmick, actually showed up on SmackDown, no vignettes, no nothing, her showing up. I looked at it and I go, this could actually work, because I had heard a lot of people, I think Busted Open talked about it one time. How are you going to present this? You could do it one of 2 ways. You could be a sadistic military person, a sadistic Marine, and just beat the ever-loving piss out of somebody, or you could do it out of respect. You break out, a challenge coin, and you say, if you beat me, I will give you this out of respect.
Yeah.
That would be a cool idea to do. And then
that it would.
And then the WWE marketing team, let's just make a bunch of these Lacey Evans challenge coins, and then we'll make a crap load of money. But they didn't do that, because somewhere along the line they dropped the ball on it, and they decided that someone said Lacey Evans works better as a heel than a face, even though more people would probably connect with her military background than a Southern Belle background, because you can connect, Southern Belle, you can probably make that work in the South. Military, everywhere.
Yeah.
So I think they dropped the ball by just deciding to make her a heel. In my personal opinion, they tried to make her the female Sergeant Slaughter.
And hell, there's even been Sergeant Slaughter that even mentioned that he was not happy with Lacey Evans because he thought that she kind of stole his thing. And it's like, well, one, she was actually in the Marines, and as far as I'm aware, Sergeant Slaughter never was even in the military at all.
I'm not sure.
I might be mistaken, so by all means, somebody in the comments correct me. But as far as I'm aware, he was actually a while back given shit that he never actually was. But regardless, character similar, but yeah, it just
plus on top of that, she started using the Cobra Clutch as a finish.
no, that too, yeah.
And Sergeant Slaughter came out because usually when someone uses somebody else's finish, the person that originated the move comes up and say, "Well, they never talked to me about getting this." When Kevin Owens started using the stunner, someone actually asked Stone Cold and said, "Hey, did he talk to you?" He said, "Oh, hell yeah. He called me 3 months before he debuted it."
Yep. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah,
Mhm.
it could have, like we said, it could have gone right if they either brought her back as a Southern Belle or just immediately debuted her from the beginning.
That's a serious swing of a character change.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Now,
I mean, we've seen that here in
yeah.
Nebraska where someone had a serious character change and it didn't work.
Yep, we've seen that. We won't go into that because I'm not wanting to. Whole other story. We're going to change the subject.
Yes.
All right. So next up, my next topic on here, the WWE's version of ECW, the reboot. ECW on Sci-Fi. Now, here is a thing. Those first two one-night stands, amazing shows.
Amazing shows.
I even have the DVD cover for the first one signed by Chris Jericho and Stevie Richards that I'm going to get displayed here sometime soon. But yeah, those first two, amazing. First one better than the second.
The first one was better because it was more of a reunion show.
Yeah. It was less of WWE's version of ECW. The second one, great show, but you started seeing those sprinklings of WWE's version of things.
So the second one night stand was more of a lead in to the Sci-Fi series.
Yeah. And it's just so after that is where things started taking a downhill turn. And I'm not even kidding, from the literal first episode of ECW on Sci-Fi.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I know where you're going with this. Not just
with the damn zombie. With the damn zombie.
First match.
And it's just like, okay, I get the Sci-Fi.
I got this close, because I will remember that till the day I die. I got this close to going, the fuck is this? I don't remember. How are you going to call him an ECW zombie?
Yeah.
And then the sanitized Sandman, as I'm going to start calling it.
Yeah.
And the best part was when he came, the dude, you could see the dirt flying out of the dude's hair.
Yeah. I remember that. God,
the only thing that saved it. And then after that, it's like, I need to see how they're going to do this. And unfortunately, no.
Yeah. There was that little bit of a time frame where, like, they had, I wanted to say it was like at least one of the matches every week was going to be Extreme Rules. That I liked, but then they started even phasing that out, and it was just like, oh God.
So I looked at it like this. Okay, when ECW first came back, they started taping it along with SmackDown. So if you ever watch some of the early ones, yes, you had the old style ECW, the brick wall with the chain link fence coming out. If you did not know, as you're looking at the entranceway directly to the left was the stage for SmackDown. WWE actually went somewhere, and I can't remember where it is, but the arena was very well lit. So as they pan their camera, as you know they do when they show the ring, and then they have someone come around, they pan the camera, I'll be damned. There's the ECW entrance.
Yeah. And oh man, I keep on thinking,
If they would have left their corporate paws off it, it could have been like it used to be.
oh yeah.
Now, if anyone remembers the original ECW, their rules were very relaxed.
Yeah.
There was one time, one of the first shows I watched on, what was it, TNN? It became Spike, and then it became, I think it's the Paramount channel now.
Yeah.
One of the first episodes I watched, within 5 minutes of the first match, they had a chair shot. And the referee's like they're just going. But there was nothing. That's the ECW way. Cool. I like this. Now you bring in WWE, and now you got to have Extreme Rule matches. Why?
Yeah.
When you start sanitizing it and saying the match that would normally, if you watch Peacock, some of the old ECW shows, Jesus Christ,
That was just a regular match.
Someone's losing blood every show.
Yeah.
Well, now you bring WWE ECW. It's like, now we're just going to call it an Extreme Rules, and we're going to save it for a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And even then, the pay-per-view wasn't the best.
Oh God! If the one and only ECW branded pay-per-view,
November to forget. I mean, November to remember. Dismember.
It was December to Dismember because it
There
was
you go.
the cover. I remember was
Oh yeah, that's right. It was
very
Sandman's
Christmas
arm.
themed.
Sandman's arm coming out of the chimney.
Yeah. God damn. Now I was excited about the possibility of that extreme elimination chamber.
Mhm.
Like a regular elimination chamber, yeah, pretty cool. But then you add the actual weapons already being in there. I'm like, okay, this could be cool. But then, yeah, it just all went to shit.
It went to hell.
And yeah, literally what went wrong literally from the moment, like literally right after the very first ECW on Sci-Fi was right where it went wrong. Right where you let
it went wrong right after the very first one night stand when Vince McMahon got a hold of the buy rates like 2 weeks later and go, hey, this can work.
Yeah.
We could almost make a brand out of this.
You know what? That's an even better point. And how could it have worked? In my head, there was talk. I mean, I believe it was Shane McMahon even brought up the idea of basically how NXT started, with it being streamed on the network and that being its thing. And then now, obviously, it's on USA. But when it started, it was, streamed on the network. Now, in my head, in my thoughts, I'm fully in belief that if they would have done that with this version of ECW, it could have worked.
It could, and it could have worked, but at the same time, you could say that 205 Live could have worked.
True. True.
Not to bash on the guys that were in 205 Live, but just the simple fact of I think the whole cruiserweight experiment, as I'm going to call it, because if it wasn't an experiment, they'd still have a cruiserweight champion.
Yeah.
I think they figured, okay, a lot of our, back in the day, your Hulk Hogan's, your Roman Reigns, that was who Vince wanted to be champion. That's who he wanted to be the face.
Yeah.
The lighter guys like Shawn Michaels, Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio, they now Shawn Michaels was handpicked by Vince. Seth Rollins may have been handpicked by Triple H, and I think Rey Mysterio was just a champion. He deserves it, but Rey Mysterio, I think he won his first world title based on the whole passing of Eddie Guerrero.
And doing that in memory of him, yeah.
Yes, and then when he won the WWE Championship in that tournament, I think they realized that it's either going to be The Miz or Rey Mysterio, and The Miz, I don't want to say he wasn't the greatest WWE champion they've had. He certainly was able to hold on to it for a while, at least until WrestleMania. Actually, held on to it after WrestleMania.
Yeah, he actually main evented.
But I think by that time they had lost confidence in him. So that's why Rey Mysterio wound up winning the WWE Championship. Not saying he didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
But I think it was just one of those where it's like, okay, who are we going to put the belt on while we figure out the whole Cena Punk thing?
Yeah. Well, you got anything that you have for this topic?
Not really.
Not really?
No, I mean, we could talk about the WWE Tag Division.
Oh, God. They have not. Like, well, you know what? For a little topic before we end this episode, yeah, why not? We'll go into that because one thing I've stated it multiple times, big fan of tag team wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
And good Lord, going back, the teams that they've had in there, going back all the way to, Demolition, Legion of Doom, Nasty Boys, then going into the Hardys, the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and good Lord, the time where I lost count of how many damn factions they had.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they had the time where, yeah, tag team wrestling was actually getting somewhat highlighted. And now, I mean, yes, this last WrestleMania, night one was highlighted by one hell of a tag team title match. And I was extremely happy for it.
And it told a great story.
Oh, that it did.
And if anyone wants to know about storytelling, just look at the Bloodline storyline.
Yeah.
That should be on everyone. I mean, I don't know if they still got the Full Sail University down there in Florida, but if they have a class on storytelling, that should be the first one.
Yeah. I mean, there has been points where it got a little bit stale, but then they ended up injecting something in there. Like, good Lord, Sami Zayn breathed a whole new life into that. And now I'll admit, the storyline leading up to the last pay-per-view, the SummerSlam, that was pretty good. I enjoyed that. But then, oh God, it's like it's back to we're just throwing random shit at the wall just to see if it sticks.
Throwing random people up there.
Yeah.
And kind of like that, your current unified tag team champions are a thrown together team.
They made it work, but yes.
Well, okay. Let me say this: they're a thrown together team, but they've been tag team champions before.
They're a thrown together team in the aspects of WWE. They have a storied history together through, PWG, Ring of Honor, and all that sort. So they have history together. But yes, in WWE aspects, although yes, they have noted the storied history between the two.
Did you
But
happen to
yes.
notice Sami Zayn's tights on Monday?
You know what? I'd have to go back and look.
He actually has a PWG symbol on his tights or on his pants.
No kidding.
I was watching a replay of the match he had with JD McDonough, and I go, whoa, back up, hey.
That's awesome. That is awesome. How they put that
But
in.
you got your unified champions are currently hurt. Kevin Owens, I haven't said what's wrong with him. Rumors are he's got a broke rib. Sami Zayn's got the bursitis thing going on. Now, what have they done with that? Nothing.
Oh God. And
At-
yeah, we could go
at
into
the same point, you've got the women's tag team champions, who one of them blows out their knee, and you're automatically thinking, great, here comes another battle royal, here comes another tournament to decide who's going to be the champs. And a breath of fresh air, they bring Piper Niven in, and she goes, "I'm your partner."
I was enjoying that because in my head when I'm hearing talk of like, oh, gonna get stripped of the tag titles, I'm like, really you have. And although Sonya Deville, her injury may be a little more severe than, well, definitely more severe than a broken rib, I believe, but you have her get injured, and then you're talking about relinquishing the tag titles, but no word on that for the unified tag champions. And both of them being hurt, I think
Sammy just has the bursitis. He just puts a sleeve on, and
yeah,
he's in pain.
So it's just like that could go back into an episode that we've held at the recording of this just came out a few days ago, but booking the women better. It's like, yeah, okay, you have that for the women's titles, but the men's, it's like, okay, you're just gonna let them just, hey, you take the time you need off and just, yeah, it's whatever. Anyways, that is about all I have for this one. What went wrong? We got some more recording we're gonna do, some more topics we're gonna discuss. Let's fucking go.